So today we're gonna make a little bit of a curry. So I want something that's nice and warming, but quite nutritious as well. So I've got a few vegetables here. What I also got is chicken style pieces here. So those are soy pieces which are flavored. They have like special flavorings to make them, yeah, taste like chicken, which are from a UK supermarket called Morrison's. Those are those, and we're gonna add some of those as well to give a bit of like, yeah, bite and structure to the meal. And usually I would do this with rice. I do not have any rice, and I also prefer to rice quinoa. So I'm gonna make some tricolore quinoa with this. And this is the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add some quinoa into a cup. So I always go by cup sizes. So I take half a cup, which I'm gonna add to a pot here. And then I'm gonna add a whole cup. So always go with double of water in here as well. And I'm gonna pop this on to full heat. Gonna give this a little bit of a stir so all the quinoa bits are actually going in with the water. And what I also do with my quinoa, it's got a really nice nutty flavor, and I really love that kind of like little still little crunches. I also add a little bit of stock powder, so probably just half a teaspoon of stock powder, which gives the quinoa a little bit more flavor, so it's not quite bland, and it brings out that nuttiness of the quinoa as well. Good, so this is gonna go lid on, and that's our quinoa pretty much doing its own thing. We just keep stirring it every now and then, and that's it. So for our curry, I've got some garlic, so 3 little cloves of garlic, and an onion, which is the first thing I'm going to add to my pan. And I'm going to go with a little bit of oil, not too much, but just because I'm also going to add things like cardamom seeds and some other like fennel seeds and so on. And they need a little bit of a carrier, and in that sense, the oil, the fat, is the carrier for our spices. So that's going to be lovely. So we've got 3 little cloves of garlic, and I'm going to add 1 white onion. So I'm going to chop my onions. They don't need to be super finely chopped. And I'm going to add this all already to my pot, but it's not hot yet, so I'm gonna wait until I added all the spices and a bit of oil, and then I'm gonna turn on my pan, the hot color pan. So I've got loads and loads of things here. Yeah, so I'm gonna use just a spoonful of all kinds of different things. So I've got some Madras curry powder, hot Madras curry powder. I'm gonna use half a teaspoon of that. Then I've got some tikka curry powder, which I bought a new one today. Again, I use half a teaspoon of that as well. It's not gonna be as spicy. I've got fennel seeds, and they are amazing. Those are some of my favorite flavors, fennel. So I'm gonna add, yeah, a teaspoon of fennel seeds. I've got also caraway seeds because it's just very traditionally Indian, really good for your digestion. Half a teaspoon caraway seeds. And as you can see, I go a little bit crazy with my with my herbs and spices, but I want to have a really nice whole palette of flavors here. So I'm gonna add some fenugreek. Fenugreek, be careful, don't add too much because it can become bitter. It's a very pungent flavor, so I only add half a teaspoon of that. What else do we have? Ginger. Ginger, very, very important, and I don't have much ginger left, so I'm gonna add, if anything, to loosen up. So it's ginger powder that I've got. I don't have any fresh ginger. I would eat fresh ginger, add fresh ginger if possible. 1 teaspoon ginger. That's it for my ginger. And then we're gonna come a little bit into a Christmassy area already. So I've got some ground nutmeg as well as some ground cloves, of which I only add like a 1/4 teaspoon, just to get a bit of a warming, nice flavor that goes really, really nice with the ginger as well. So I'm just gonna stir my quinoa. And the same for the cloves. 1/4 teaspoon goes in here. Again, goes really, really nice with the ginger, makes everything nice and warming, like a big nice hug. Chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon. If you don't like the heat, keep it out. Again, and this is all optional, so whatever you don't like, don't have it. Paprika. Paprika is something that goes really, really well with curry powder. So I added, when I do curries, I add always like half a teaspoon of paprika as well, and lemongrass. Lemongrass is something that's more of a Thai thing. I've got some ground lemongrass here. I add a whole teaspoonful, and lovely cardamom pods. So I'm gonna add 4. One of them is a bit small, so I would add 3, but one of them is a little bit small. So I'm gonna add 3 to 4 cardamom pods. And I take my knife, turn it around so the sharp side is up, and give my pods a little bit of a bash, so that they loosen up a little bit and split a little bit. As you can see, they're gonna start splitting here, and that actually will help release that flavor of the pops. Poppy pods. Okay, they go in whole. And then we're gonna add a tiny bit of oil. Again, a teaspoon or so. And now, this is when we're gonna put the heat on. So in the meantime, alright, so I've got like 3 medium-sized carrots. And we're gonna just cut them up into cubes. So I halve them and 1/4 them. This one is anyway quite a small one. And then chop them up into cubes here. So once my quinoa has soaked up all the water, what I usually do is I put everything in the back of the fridge. I take a bit of butter. Again, just like a spoonful of butter that I add to it, and it brings out the fluffiness a little bit more. And I take it off the hob. Make sure I get all the butter combined and melted down here. And because the quinoa is quite hot, it's gonna be very easy. And then I'm going to put the lid back on and keep it on the side because it's going to continue cooking for a little while. Okay, so I'm going to cube my sweet potatoes as well, so they have about the same size as my carrots. Yeah. Sweet potato and carrot both goes in now, and it's going to fry with those wonderful spices and garlic and onion. So if you in the UK, have a look at chicken style pieces from Morrison's. I'm gonna put them all in there because there's not super many in there anyways. So I'm gonna use some coconut milk now, which I'm gonna add the full tin in here, and that's gonna make, turn this off, that's gonna make it really, really lovely, nice and creamy. And at this point, I'm gonna turn it down to medium heat. Lovely, lovely, lovely. What I definitely want is some mushrooms, just because I'm slightly obsessed with mushrooms. Don't tell anyone. Oh yeah, and I've got some chickpeas. So chickpeas are a great way of getting protein into your diet if you're vegan, so any kind of beans and peas and stuff. So I'm gonna add probably like half a tin of chickpeas in here, which I've drained beforehand. So they're drained chickpeas, and they are just gonna bubble here with our with the rest of our curry for now. And then I'm gonna slice some mushrooms and chuck those as well. Mushrooms are a lovely, lovely carrier of flavor as well. So I'm gonna add, yeah, a handful of mushrooms, and I don't really use lots of measurements. My cooking is very much like a handful of this, a handful of that. I'm trying to give you an indication, and you can see usually how many of what I'm gonna put in. And this is looking amazing. Very, very lovely. Yeah, this is probably gonna take 5 to 10 minutes to boil down a little bit, but it's really, really lovely, creamy, very spicy as well, so I can definitely smell the spices. They're tickling my nose. My mom sent me a care package from Germany a few weeks ago, and I still have this, which is Sardisches Fladenbrot. I don't know why I said this so weirdly. It's basically, yeah, it's a little bit like, it's a flatbread, but a little bit like, I want to say it's a bit like a papadom, and that's why I think it's really, really great to our curry here. So I'm going to get prepared to start serving up my curry. So I've got some baby spinach. As I said, I could put that directly in there, but for me it's really, really nice to have a little bit of a crunch. So I'm going to put the baby spinach on the bottom before I add my quinoa and then my curry. And the curry will still soften the spinach. So my curry looks hopefully quite lovely. It's quite creamy, and we serve that, there's some baby spinach underneath it, and we serve that with quinoa, and it's very steamy. So I'm very sorry if you can't see this properly, but yeah, so this is our lovely, lovely winter warming curry. We've got spices like ginger, curry powder, madras curry powder, tikka curry powder. We've got fennel seeds in there as well, which are really, really lovely and warming. So yeah, there we go. And we're gonna, alongside this, we're gonna have some of our flatbread, which I'm gonna open up now so you guys can see what it actually looks like. So it's Italian flatbread, but for me it looked a little bit like papadom. So ooh, this looks amazing. Look at that, guys. It comes in a proper box as well. So my mom sent me this from Germany in a little care package. So we're gonna have a couple of those as well with the curry. It should be, I sadly don't have any chutney. Okay, so that looks, I have to try it. Oh, this is nice. It's not like a papadum. It's definitely more taste of olive oil, salt, olive oil, and yeah, a little bit like a ciabatta, but really, really thin. So I really, really like it.